Hello everyone, and welcome to So Many Games All the Time. My name is Joachim, and today we're going to continue the top 52 of my Kickstarter games that I have. Once again, I will repeat that all these games, they're not up to date anymore because I've already received a bunch of other Kickstarters that I really like. Let's just say Stars of Icarios, Monsters on Board, a bunch of other stuff, right? But doesn't matter. This was created, this list before. I'm going to finish it. So now we are going to go from 10 to 6. Number 10 is Anachrony, Fractures of Time, Expansion, and Infinity Box. So mostly the Infinity Box here. You can see it here. I went all in on this one because I heard so much good stuff about Anachrony, and then they introduced the Infinity Box, and I was like, this is going to be right on my sleeve, right? This has to be, so I'm just going to go for it. And I have played it numerous of times, but always a base game. So all the extra stuff in the box I haven't played yet. The game is about time travel, right? Time travel. So you have your mech suits, you go out on the board, you're trying to get resources, but you don't always have enough resources. So at the start of your turn, you can decide to borrow resources from the present, right? And then you go over to the next year, but then you realize you still have to pay back what you borrowed last time. So you have an engine where you can then go back into time to pay it back, because if you don't pay back, then you will have a problem. It'll be negative points and so on. Now these things all focus on the expansion, which honestly I haven't played yet. I haven't even played the solo mode yet. I've only played with other people. But the idea of Anachrony is basically you're trying to collect a bunch of resources and technologies, and you build buildings. Everybody has special abilities that other people might not have. For example, here when you see the board in the middle, you can do research here on the left side. In the middle, you hire people. On the right side, is it you mine, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It's been a while. No, here's where you mine. Then what is this again? I'm drawing a blank here. I know this is recruiting people. I know this is building. This is building a building. There you go. And if you go up here, you can still do all these below, but you only when they're full, right? Also, you have certain kinds of people. Where are they? Here, the workers. And certain workers cannot build, certain workers cannot hire people, certain workers cannot do research. So you always have to make sure that the right people go somewhere, right? For example, here in the hiring, the researchers cannot hire. The regular workers, the engineers or whatever, they can hire, but there's nothing special. But if you then use an administrator, the blue guy, then he can have special bonuses. So there's all kinds of stuff that you have to think about. Here on the left, you can get water because water is currency as well. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do. You have your own boards here on the right. They're very different between the factions. Where you, on the right side, there's the buildings. In the left side, that's where your mechs go. And they might also have specific costs there. At the bottom, it's your worker happiness track. So you can really treat them well. So you can give you a lot of points at the end of the game. Or you can treat them really bad, but then they never go to sleep. So you can use them all the time. Because your workers, when they come back, they do go to sleep. So you have to wake them up again. Unless, of course, you slave them. Not slave, but you say like, no, work harder. So, but then, of course, they get annoyed. And then you might lose points at the end of the game. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on in this game. These are buildings, and you can also send your workers to buildings, or some might be free actions. Super projectiles, they are very expensive, tend to be, but then they might also give you a nice bonus. Also, at the end of the game, there's going to be, or near the end of the game, there's going to be like this cataclysm, and then there's going to be like one more turn, I think, and then the game will end. But you also have to try to get your people out. That's the biggest thing, right? Trying to get your people out safely. It can also score you a lot of points. There's a bunch of stuff. You can hear me talking about it, right? So, but in general, it's an awesome game. Let's go to BGG for some better pictures. Okay, so this is the Kickstarter. This is the page for the Infinity Box. You can see it here. This person took a picture of the unboxing. You can see everything is nicely in trays and everything. So easy to set up. Definitely a winner. But then I don't know if there's going to be good pictures here of people actually playing it, because this is the infinity box. I guess here, yeah, 2-player game, perfect. So you can see it here. At the start of the turn, you are going to put the token here, and you will get that resource. But of course, later on, you're going to have to try to get back to pay it back. Here's the Cataclysm, and then you keep going until the game is over. You go after the Cataclysm, this will open up, and then you can bring your people there to get a bunch of points and to escape, right? There's that too. So the buildings this person has here, you can see the costs that you have to pay as well. To go back in time, you need to have a building that allows you to go back in time. This person has painted their mechs, which is cool. Of course, something that I also still have to do. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, awesome game. I've played with people before who didn't like it all that much, but I've played with other people who said, okay, if you ever sell this, you know my number. So sorry. So yeah, so you can see it as well. Some people have already gone. You don't really see it here, but the chips are supposed to be in there. The chips of the workers that you put in. You can see the workers here. So when you send out the mech, you take the worker and you plug it in there. Just put it in there and then you place it here. So I don't know why these are all here. Maybe this is just set up for a picture without the people in there, but yeah. And also, once again, the factions are different. There are different leaders who give you different abilities. Here you can see there's been a lot of borrowing and not a lot of paying back. So yeah. All right, I think that's enough for Anachrony. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is Wonderland's War. Now, Wonderland's War, great game. So of course Wonderland, and there is a war. I don't know why they're fighting, to be honest. They've branded deadly serious. The Jabberwock is on a rampage. The Queen of Hearts is out for blood. So basically people are just fighting. So you're just going to choose a side. So you see the people here. Those are the ones that you can play as. Some at least. Jabberwock, Queen of Hearts, Alice, the Mad Hatter. I think those are the only 4 that you can play as. These 2 are just Wonderlandians that you can hire. So I want to have a picture of the board, because that will make it a lot easier to explain. Or maybe like this. I can do it like this. So basically, in Wonderland's War, you're going to be gathering supporters here. So you're going to be going around the table, picking up a card that will give you some supporters to place, but it can also allow you to hire Wonderlandians. It can also allow you to get some certain chips you put in your bag, because this is a bag builder. When you're fighting, you're going to be pulling chips out of your bag and hopefully win. So you're trying to get more chips. For example, here the card this person has chosen has a guard on it, so you get a guard chip, put it in your bag. Then it says here, muster your allies. There you go, you get the chips. Very cool. You have A, B, C, D, that you can't see here. But this is, for example, maybe this is the A card of the guard. But then you have the B, the C, and the D card. I think it stops at D. But so every card has different abilities. So every game you will choose one of them, put it out. But then you have so many different allies that every game can play completely different depending if you use the A, B, C, D sides. Okay. You can also recruit Wonderlandians. They are the typical Wonderlandian creatures, and they all have abilities that you will place around to help you fighting battles. They might give you points. They might make you a lot stronger. They might give you certain special advantages over other people or locations, all those things. Forge powerful artifacts. You can, at certain points, forge, and then basically you will be filling up the tracks on your board, which will give you special abilities, make you stronger, get more powerful chips, get more people out, make your towers, because you can build towers, be more valuable at the end of the game. As you see here, compete in battle, so you'll be drawing your chips and hopefully win. At any point you can stop, but you don't say, because when you're fighting, it'll be like, okay, everybody draw a chip, 1, 2, 3, show. So even when you're not playing anymore, your hand will be empty. So it's also a little bit of bluffing, because you might want to stop because you have quests. You might say, okay, in a battle, stop at spot 3, and then you'll stop at 3. Or make sure you forge in a battle, or make sure you're last in a battle. Things like that, and then you'll be completing quest cards that will give you points. There's a bunch of stuff to go over, but just here, Cheshire Cat, I forgot that one. So there's 5 of them, and you can see that the images are different on each character board. They all have special abilities on the left that you can also do. Leader powers on the bottom left, that is the same, but you can also build that up during the game. Yeah, so they all play very, very differently. For example, Alice goes around the different, like everybody goes from left to right around the board. Alice goes from right to left around the board. The tea party, I mean, the tea table. So yeah, it's, and the deluxe version is just jaw-dropping beautiful. You can see it here, deluxe, really, really nice. It doesn't look like this. This was just a render, I guess. The final version looks way better. You can check the video. I have a how to play video, a playthrough, an unboxing. It is a very cool game. Lots of push your luck when in the battles. There's 3 rounds. You can build the castles to give you more power in the battles. It's fun. It's not cutthroat. It's really just fun. I mean, I guess you could make it cutthroat if that's the kind of people you're playing with, but yeah, it's just a very enjoyable experience, and that's why it's so high as well. Yeah, so that was Wonderland's War on number 9. So number 8 is Rurik Stone and Blade. That's the expansion. So basically Rurik Dawn of Kiev with the expansion. That's when I backed it. Once again, I backed this purely by word of mouth. People saying it's such a good game, you should really try it, and so on, so on, so on. So I've mostly played the base game with some of the expansions. So basically, how does Rurik play and why do I like it so much? You can see it's a dudes on a map game, but the biggest thing, the most appealing thing, is this board right here. Now I don't know if they're gonna, yeah, here you go. It is the auction programming, because you have your guys, right? You have guys like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the beginning you have less, maybe 1, 2, 4, 5 or something. And on your turn, you're going to choose one of those guys, put him on one of these tracks: muster, move, attack, tax, build, or scheme. So the guy you put on there is the value. So if you put a 5 there, it's quite high, and then you might be first. But 5 means that one will be activated last. So if it's a number 1, that will be activated first, but it's very low. But then to make sure the 1 is higher, you can add coins so it wins. For example, in this example, you can see it here, the number 2 had 3 coins added, so it's technically a 5. But it will still happen on the second turn when this is all being activated, right? So you're always looking around the table like, what are you guys going to do? Okay, I think he's going to tax, so maybe I should put something high so I can make him spend some coins, stuff like that, right? So that is already a very cool part of the game, which I really like. Normally, I'm not a fan of auctioning, but this is not really auctioning, it's just bidding, I guess. Auction programming, I guess that's what I call it. Really like it. But then, of course, you do everything here, right? The fighting, everything else is fine. You get the resources fine. But what I like here is this. These 2 points, these 2 I like. First of all, you have the boat with all your resources. I like that. It looks nice, but also it gives you bonuses if you have a full resource. Like for example, these 2 honey pieces here, you'll get a coin. You have a bear pelt, you get a coin. You have 3 fish, you get a coin, and then those coins you can use later on. Also here is the score board. You can see, for example, oh, you have 3 goods on your boat, you get 1 point. 5 goods on your boat is 2 points. But this is end game scoring. But the cool part is, let's say you score 9 goods on your boat, 5 points. Then you spend those goods, you will still be on 9 goods. So basically you go as high as possible, and that's where you'll stay. Even if you lose everything afterwards, it doesn't matter. You have those points already. It is set in stone. So in other games where it might go up and down, up and down, up and down, here you go as high as you can and it stops. So you try to get 7 adjacent regions with buildings. And once you got it, don't worry about it anymore. You can't lose your buildings, so it doesn't matter. But for example, ruling 5 key regions, including Kiev and Novgorod, if you have that, and then later on they kick you out, it's fine. Don't worry. The 8 points, you got them. It's fine. So yeah, all that together. So what's new then with the expansion that I have actually played myself? That is, you have these starting resources that you have. Normally you don't have that. You have the different buildings that you can put in the game, and then people can pay for it to put them out. We've done that a couple of times. It's kind of cool, but I would advise you to use them after you've played the base game a couple of times. For example, these siege towers allow you to actually attack from like there's no border basically. But there's a bunch of there's a lot of different buildings that you can use. Also, you can what is it here? More decisions in warfare. You can capture and put people in jail. We didn't play with that one, so I can't talk about that one. The rewards, you get the boon tokens, which is really nice. So not only the coins, but also boon tokens, which is basically wild and other stuff that you can use. This expansion also makes you fight more, because every time you win a battle, you might get some bonuses, which are also interesting. And also whoever is highest will get 3 points, second 1 point. And points here, they're very, very valuable. Rebel factions, we didn't play with that, so I can't really talk on that. But in general, really good. The box itself, really nicely stashed everything. You can see the tokens, they all look very nice. Yeah, really, really enjoyable game. Enjoyed immensely every time. Not very good at it, but I really don't care. It's just cool. This phase, just always trying to outsmart people, it is really awesome. Like, it has happened that you put like, okay, many people are gonna tax. Okay, 5 and 4 coins, and then nobody taxes. And you're like, oh my god, I just wasted 4 coins. So yeah, it's a really cool game. Check it out if you think it's up your alley. All right, that's Rurik done. Well, wait, let's go to BGG so you can at least see how the whole setting looks like when people are playing. So this is a nice example of what it looks like. You can also see here you have the little trays that come with the boxes with all your units, so it's pretty cool. And you can also see that you start with 1, 2, 4, 5, and then the other 2 you will unlock them. All right, there's 2s here. There should be a 3 here. Don't know where the 3 went, but they should be here as well. So as the game progresses, there's only 4 rounds. You will unlock more people, and then you have more people to actually use in the bidding. You all have a leader with specific abilities as well. And yeah, then the scoreboard here, and the boats that you have. Okay, well, I guess that kind of shows it, right? Once again, here is really, really nice. Okay, that's it. That was Rurik. Now we're gonna go over to number 7. Yeah, number 7. It's a Wonderful Kingdom. Now, It's a Wonderful Kingdom. I had It's a Wonderful World already, Heritage, and I sold that. I sold that after I got this, because this I play so much. I like this so much more. Okay, this is only a 2-player game. All right, as far as I know, it's only 2 players, 1 to 2 players, but you can play it solo, and it plays so nice solo. Oh, So basically, 2 kingdoms, basically the same as It's a Wonderful World, only more medieval. But then they've changed the way the game actually plays. So when you play with 2 people, you are going to be. Is there a how to play here that shows it better? There should though, right? They have different modules. Yeah, sure. La la la. Okay, so first of all, you have the 7 cards in your hand. You get those, right? And then you are also going to have a calamity card, which is a negative card that reduces your score. So it's basically a trap, right? So you're going to be putting 2 cards down, face down, right? And then the opponent is going to have to choose which ones they want, okay? Now, of course, you can also put something on to make it more worth it, and you can then bluff. So they might think, oh, you really want this one, but then it's actually a trap. But you also have choices also of what you want. Even when you play against the AI, right, you'll always have 2 sides of the board to choose which cards you want for your engine, which is really nice. I really enjoyed that a lot. So like I said, you choose 1 or 2 offering areas, and then you of course are going to check what it is. And then of course this person chose the trap, which is very sad. But yeah, so the production, everything else stays the same. It's a Wonderful World. It's a huge engine that you get. The cool part is, if you've heard of this game before, or if you haven't, the cool part is you have these, is it 4 or 5 different, 4 different resources. So materials, population, gold, and blue, exploration. So first you'll be getting the income of gray, right? You get the gray cubes of the cards that you've already placed. Now, If those gray cubes can then be used to build a new card, like you see here, then this card will produce in the next phase. So normally in most games is you build something and it will start producing the next round. Here it will potentially immediately helps you produce more later in the same round. So you can really have a nice engine set up. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining it, but there's a bunch of videos on the channel. It's really nice. It also came with a bunch of modules. I haven't really played it. In solo, you can then fight against different types of enemies to make it more difficult. Okay, so here we are at BGG and all the pictures. So I'm looking for a good and nice picture to show you how exactly it works. This is okay. So you can see these buildings are all in development, and this is all that will produce, right? So as you're producing this, you can fill these up and hopefully then add them to the line, and then they will produce as well. And here you have all the different types of production that there is, right? So that's basically how that works. You have X amount of rounds where you can produce. At the end of the game, you add up all the scores, and then that is the end. Whoever has the most points wins. So the game is really not that difficult to learn or to understand, right? But it is quite strategic though. It's so difficult to always think about, okay, which card am I going to use, when, what am I going to try to build, what am I not going to try to build. So yeah, I really enjoy it. But of course, at this point, all the games I'm talking about, obviously I really enjoy. But I think that's enough about It's a Wonderful Kingdom. That was number 7. And then number 6 is Super Fantasy Brawl. So I have round 2 because I bought the initial game of the website. And then in round 2, I just bought everything that has to do with round 2. Except I forgot one little expansion box, which still annoys me. For even bought the Felder insert. There's a video about that, so you can see how I stored it. But for Super Fantasy Brawl is exactly what it says. It's a brawl. You draft heroes, so you have 3 of them. Your opponent has 3 of them, and then you fight in an arena, trying to complete challenges that gives you points. Whoever has 5 points first wins. I think is it 5 or 3? I think 5. Yeah, 5 points wins. So you can see here is the arena. There's so many heroes. I think there's like 24 or something or more now. All with different stats, different abilities, different focuses on them. You can see them here. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. You can see them here. Let's count. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. There you go. 24 of them. You even have foil cards. The statues, they're in the middle because they also have an effect on the challenges. Maybe have 3 people around this statue, stuff like that. So yeah, the art looks cool. It's really fun to play. It plays quite fast. Although I can imagine if both players are like more standoffish, it might be a little bit slower. But in the end, you're trying to get these challenges, right? So let's go to BGG so I can explain it a little bit better, because I think there I'll have a better view of the... oh, maybe no, here's perfect. Okay, so first you're going to be drafting. Now, one thing that's annoying is these draft cards, you have to buy them separately, which is like, what? But yeah, anyway, so you can just print them off as well, I guess. So you will draft, take all the cards of the heroes, shuffle them all together, have one big deck, and then draw cards. Then the cards that you have drawn, you'll be playing them. They can be 3 colors. They can be blue, yellow, or red. And then you activate them by flipping these chords. So that means on your turn, you're going to play 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 blue, unless you have an ability that allows you to play 2 or something, but that's exceptional, right? So you know that in advance. Having a hand full of red cards is not good. You start the game with a mulligan, by the way. The first round, you can swap out cards, reshuffle and draw, and so on. So then win the favor of the crowds. Like I said, you're trying to complete these challenges, get the points, and trying to get 5 points. Also, when your champion kills someone, when they take it out, they will level up and have a special ability. So, or the special ability will be even more powerful. So, and also gives you a victory point, if I'm not mistaken. So not 100% sure about that though. You can also push and pull, which is nice. So you use your environment or other heroes. You can push them onto traps. There's traps there as well. So there's quite a bunch of stuff to think about when you're doing it, when you're playing it. Okay, well, let's check out BGG. Okay, so here we are at BGG. This is one picture that seems to be quite okay. You can see they're fighting here, but here they don't really have the statues out. I don't know why, they're just empty here. Maybe it's still some kind of prototype. Let's see if I can find something else that actually has the statues there. For example, here. Yeah, so they're all bunched up and fighting. You can see the heroes here with damage on top of them. You can see this person, this is the end of the game because this person only has 5 points, so they've won. This little coin is whoever was starting player that round. Here you see the challenges that move on, and they're also color coded. So for example, it's red, it means it has to do with the red area and so on. Yeah, and of course the more you play, the more you get to know these heroes, and the more you can play, you can create good teams. These blue ones, these are the traps. So when you go on a trap, you just flip it over and you see what it does to you. So it could stun you, it could damage you. There's a bunch of stuff that can happen, right? Okay, I think there's not much more I can talk about Super Fancy Brawl, to be honest, aside from the fact that I really need to paint this as well, and it's really exciting. And yeah, also this really needs an insert, because this is a good idea. This person says, just give you an idea of the wasted space, is everything in the box minus the inserts. So yeah, so you really need a good insert to make sure everything is nice and tidy and actually makes use of the space, because with the plastic itself it's really wasted. But do check out the videos I have on this, and I will definitely make videos of this later as well, because it's so easy to do. Alright, this is the end again of my top 50 Kickstarters. So this was 10 to 6, and the next 5 videos will be standalone videos, 1 per game, I think, but most likely like that. And maybe even I'll try to have the physical game to show stuff and so on, make it more interesting. Alright, okay, that's it. My name is Joachim, as always, and always will be. This was So Many Games All the Time. Have an amazing day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.